Hi, guys. Welcome to Pod in the City
Hey,
Weekly
people.
Roundup. Welcome, everyone.
Hi. In
Thanks for joining us. Hi.
case you didn't know, my name's John. This is
I'm
Amanda.
Amanda. I'm Anada. And
Amanada.
we need to
Welcome.
get eventually we're gonna add some audio into that little opening thing, I guess. It'll
Well,
be
I'll tell
fun.
everyone, yesterday we recorded some audio to put in our intro, and that only took an hour and some, and then multiple hours of editing because I'm a picky bitch. So
I'm like, here I edited it. I'm gonna start watching Traitors now, Joan. And he's like, if you could just cut out when I breathe that one moment, and then you breathe really loud at this point, and then I breathe again. And I just feel like you should just so lo and behold. But it is good. So stay tuned for our next Pod in the City main feed episode on Wednesday.
So yeah, as soon as we have
here.
another hour and a bunch of time, we'll definitely record a little intro to jump on there.
Yeah. It's much more work than one would think. Hello guys. Thanks for joining us. Hello.
Krista, thanks for saying that Amanda looks amazing, because I'm going to start out the top of here with I'm just imploring, okay? I know we have some amazing
talk around it.
I know that there's some amazing people on here that love Amanda. I know we got hardcore working people on here that are willing to go to war for this bitch, I would think. And when I say bitch, of course, I mean it in the nicest way possible. But I know that there is a place online that we love to go. I mean, I like to go there and find out a lot of there's a lot of gossip on there. You know, people love to go post things. They love to go post in communities about Sister Wives, and they love to talk about podcasts that they hear about it, and they love to voice their opinions. And sometimes I just think their opinions are so out of left field. They think that people have
it's pretty gaslighting.
No, they just are very
this is not
obsessed.
my experience. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm talking around the situation, but if you felt like it, some of these amazing fans on here, you could go onto this website.
No, don't do that either.
Okay, got it. Anyway,
just don't.
So we appreciate when people say Amanda's hot and
or I'm nice. Just that I'm not the worst person in the world. No, here's really what it is. If you stumble upon some horrible post that is dedicated to just hating anyone, you don't need to send it to them at 3 a.m. for them to read as when they wake up.
Oh, see that. I want to hear all that. I want all that.
Okay, well, you can send all of that to John.
I just downvote things that I don't agree with. That's all I'll say.
All right.
Is sometimes people things that are just really ridiculous and they need to be checked. Is there a cockfight happening outside here?
No, it's a Yorkshire Terrier next door. I have one on either side of my house, and every time they explode out of the backyard, it's like,
oh Lord.
Anyway, yeah. So thank you, John. John got very upset about that. I'm like, oh, you're so.
I didn't comment anything. Trust me, I could have burnt. I could have scorched the earth beneath those people's feet, but I chose not to.
It's fine. Just you don't need to send it to me. I don't need to know this information at all. I was having a great Saturday. Anyway,
speaking of though, we have been getting some really, really nice reviews and ratings from people. Guys. And we so appreciate it for helping us get there. And if you haven't heard, we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And we always appreciate when you hit the like button, because it's just helping us, especially because we only have 4 videos at this point. So baby, we need to, we're getting there though. We're getting
when
somewhere.
You're at work, put your phone on silent and then just press play and then just let it play out. All day long.
I thought about telling people to recommend us to their friends, but I'm sometimes would be embarrassed to recommend something like this to my friends, but you never know.
Yeah. Well, let's get into smash that like. Yes, smash that like and subscribe. That's really that's all you need to do today. It's free. Cost you nothing. You can't even send us any money or super stickers yet because we don't have the views yet. Anyway, let's get into some housekeeping, shall we? We actually have a really fun lineup this week. Here we go. And all of these change eventually. I have something, I'm working on something for What Are We Watching? And it's good, but it's just going to be incredibly time consuming. And that's what I was supposed to do Saturday until that person sent me that post. Yeah, that's right. Housekeeping. All right, Joan, I'm going to blast some banners on the screen here if you can just read
talk
through
about
them.
it. Okay.
Yeah, just talk about.
All right. So first, we do have our Patreon. You guys, things are popping off on the Patreon. They really are. We got lots of things going. This week we're doing Broad City. So find us on our Patreon. We do like a little. It's kind of like a half weekly update and a half
like half an
episode
hour
thing. It's kind of like a mix. So it's kind of fun. We talk about a little deeper into some of our other stuff, as though we don't already talk about plenty of deep shit.
Things change day to day.
Yeah, really. I mean, between today and tomorrow, my entire life could be different. You never know. So find us on Patreon, patreon.com/pod and the city. So and again, we do have we got Broad City, Working Girls, and then we have our episode, Sex in the City episode. It's actually episode 8, Amanda, I think. It's called Three's a Crowd. That one's all about threesomes. So, with that, instead of burying it like I did yesterday when we recorded our Sex in the City one, we're looking for fun, weird, outrageous, cringy, anything sex stories. Because we'd love you do not have to put your name.
Oh yeah, I forgot
about that. You don't have to do any of that. We're just thinking that could be like a fun little thing to, like, I don't know,
anonymous thing.
Like read people's anonymous, weird stuff. We've shared plenty
embarrassing stories, like when you like accidentally shit your pants while making out on a roller coaster.
Did you have a big steak dinner and then a guy took you back and he tried to get it in and it was like ain't happening? Let us know. We want to hear those.
Story of every Valentine's Day of my life is a steak dinner, and then later at home, this is happening tonight.
Elise told me says that sometimes I sound like a Nick Kroll character. And you know what? That doesn't shock me.
I think you sound like Troy from Beyond the Blinds, which is a good thing.
Oh, I just kind of talk all over the place. Yeah. And okay, so so click the subscribe button, of course. Smash the like, baby. And follow us on our Instagram. It's PATC Pod on Insta. Follow us, baby. With our Patreon, we are thinking about, what else we might add a video level. We've been thinking about that. Because we do record our sessions. So we're thinking, some people might like that. Who knows? But thanks, Shannon. I love this idea, like the old YM magazine section.
That's exactly. Yeah.
We want to do like like a sex call, like kind of emulating what Carrie's situation, You
guys and we were saying, like, we were tossing around the idea, like, you guys could ask us for advice on stuff, but then it's like, why would anyone want the two of our advice on how to handle a good relationship?
One thing that I was thinking is maybe like straight women could ask gay guys sex questions, but like, don't ask me about a relationship.
It's the blind.
We're not a good
leading the blind at this point. Yeah, but
I know how to get down, Amanda. Okay, so if you want to know how to get down, babes,
relationships.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Skip the relationship part. We need to be more focused on the sex part.
So. I'm gonna quickly pimp my other podcast with Jody, who is my actual friend. And nobody needs to gaslight you guys know we're in a fight now.
Just so you guys know, I know them individually outside of podcasting lives. And they actually like each other. And Amanda isn't forcing Jody to do anything.
Oh my God, okay, it's fine. It's fine. On Love to Hate TV Patreon this week, me and Jody, my best friend, did Sister Wives Season 10, Episode 3, Car Confessions, and that's on patreon.com/LoveToHateTV, and on Total Request Pod, also with Jody, is episode of CSI Miami called Open Water. And this might be my favorite episode we've ever recorded in like the 6 years we've been recording together.
Really?
Yeah. It was so funny. CSI is fucking unhinged. It started with sharks and it ended 100 levels higher than that somehow.
Ooh. There is a new movie that I've been kind of wanting to see. I think it's called No Way Up. And the premise here is a plane has crashed into the ocean. All right. It sinks into the ocean. And then there's sharks trying to get the people that are trapped inside the plane that's sunk into the ocean.
I love that shit.
I mean, I like I like some of the dumber shit. So as you guys may have seen, well, I'll get into it in a bit, but I'm going to give a rundown of the most important moments of Madam Web, what is now considered worst superhero movie of all time.
That'll be into our What Are We Watching? But really quickly, before we move on to hot topics, I'm just gonna pimp out another thing that we're doing. It's finally been announced. We had like a meeting on Saturday, which was just
at 9 a.m.
the four of our. It was 10 a.m. for me, but still early. But it was just the four of us podcasters being like, "Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't know. Yeah, well, yeah, sure, maybe." Anyway, but we're me and Jody love to hear everything we'll be participating in. Who wants to be a sister? Who wants to be a sister wife? Trivia night, and this is hosted. I don't know. Again, there was never a discussion on what we're calling this, but anyway, this is a trivia night that's going to happen on March 10th. I want to say March 10th at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So whatever your time zone is, figure it out. But it's 10 a.m. But it's also a time change day. So keep that in account. It's going to be live.
Oh, no.
Check it out with Ace and Caitlin. But it's going to be Surviving Sister Wives, Little Miss Recap, me and Jody, and then Ace and Caitlin. And we're doing a big Sister Wives trivia. It's going to be lit. And I feel like I can easily win this, but I'm going to choke because I always choke. And then the second I start losing, I'm just going to like not give a fuck anymore. And then I'll just like have fun.
Here's the problem, Amanda. You're not actually really much of a Sister Wives expert, but you think you are.
Okay, don't start over.
It's just so perfect how everything is just, it's just so...
I could win this, though. I could so win this.
Who's, who, like, do you guys, is it being hosted? How is it working? Who's asking the questions or...
I'm just going to kind of show up and see what happens, but it's on a website called Kahoot. And it's like a trivia website.
But someone had to have put those questions in at one time. So
no, they have their moderators like figuring out the questions.
Okay, great.
But I'm fucking ready because when I'm not watching Sister Wives, I'm listening to Sister Wives podcasts over and over.
Girl.
So this is all embedded in my soul. I just can't choke.
Hopefully the questions they ask aren't like too surface level, or else maybe you will choke because you might need to
stop referencing this. Did not happen. This was not in the plan. All right. Okay, what's next? Let's get into hot topic. Oh, no. One last thing we have to announce, Joan. For our Patreon, for the fourth week, we would do the monthly mixer, but now we're doing this for the fourth week.
Ooh, yeah.
So we have something else figured out. So
we also kind of have changed the layout because originally we thought we would do like show, then a monthly mixer thing on our Patreon, but we decided we'd rather just be able to shit talk every week. So we're going to add a fourth show to our lineup. We already have Golden Girls, Broad City. And the perfect fourth edition is about 4 strong women, fabulosity all around. And drum roll, please. Do we have any guesses in the chat? Any guesses?
Yeah, anyone want to guess? It's very much in the exact same lexicon as Golden Girls, I guess. Well, I mean, anyway, it's
no one feels like no one's people logged out.
Like,
people dropped out. I mean, our numbers are dropping. It's Designing Women.
Yay. Yeah.
Woo! I was
no,
raised on
it.
on that shit, baby. That one will be one of my
everyone guest designing women. Yeah. So
there must have just been a lag here. There was a
just
lag.
pure silence. Anyway, that's what's going on. Let's get into hot topics, shall we? I'm
yes.
gonna take that
Sorry,
as a yes.
I just got
all right. I need to cut off that last little like 2 seconds there now that I know what I'm doing. Okay. What do we got for hot topics this week?
Remind me, Amanda, what was our first hot topic? What was our
Let's
hot
see.
topic?
We got well, first of all, ding 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 ding. Crossroads is available on
Oh
Netflix.
yeah, baby.
And everyone needs to know this information.
I will say I am a Britney stan for life. When I was in high school and junior high and all that, I had a cardboard cutout in my room. I never got to meet her, but I've always, I've followed through, even now, the knife dancing, the umbrella to the paparazzi's car in 2007. I've been there for her. And Crossroads, I watched that shit in theaters back in the day because I was that much of a
Did you
Britney
listen to her
fan.
audiobook or read her audiobook?
I haven't.
That's surprising
If
to me.
she would have read it, I think it's just because so much of the information just comes out anyway. Like, what else is in there that I haven't already heard on TikTok 20 minutes after the book was released?
I mean,
or
it's
actually
kind of
a month before it was released.
It's exactly what you think it's going to be. It's unhinged, but it spills tea. She's actually very polite to Justin. Justin should be fucking like on his hands and knees thanking her every day that she didn't go further because she was very polite to him. Anyway, but then she really summed up her last marriage and divorce in like a chapter. Yeah, I got married. It didn't work out. No, bye. Now I like dancing in my underwear on Instagram.
I think if she had recorded the audio herself, I would have definitely listened to it.
But Michelle Williams does a great job of narrating.
I know, and I know. Britney. And I did hear that Britney specifically did request Michelle Williams as, I think originally she wanted Reese Witherspoon.
I can see that too.
And I think that, I mean, again, this is me talking out of my ass of something that I think I remember, but I think that was originally it. Yeah. I'll get to it someday, but books like that take hours and hours.
People are discussing this Patreon app. Me and Jody have said this from the beginning. Patreon app sucks. Don't do it. Just get your RSS feed and put it into Spotify or iTunes.
I've been telling people to go on Patreon because I posted the Kathy Griffin My Life on the D list.
Yeah, no, go to Patreon. No, don't go on the app. Oh. Go on like your browser.
I use the app, but
right.
Okay, so if I think Twisa was trying to saying she didn't know how to figure out where the shows are. If you scan down, I think that there's Amanda, don't you put them in folders or something?
What?
Don't you on our Patreon put them in folders?
Yeah, they're all in the different folders. If anyone needs help working through Patreon, getting your RSS feed, please feel free to reach out. We will answer you right back in 2 seconds. My phone is always in my hand. Letty it says, if anyone wants a sneak peek, Google Susan Sugarbaker, the night that the lights went out in Georgia. John, we're at the age now where like that's not a reference that everyone in the world knows anymore, and that's so depressing to me.
Okay, but
there are people that don't know what that means.
Were we ever at an age where that was a common reference, or are we just around gay people too much?
Yeah,
I am gay, and you were in theater. That's just a very. I've seen drag queens do that. Well, in All Stars 7, Jinx and Monet did the monologue of it for their lip sync. But shit, this is what I'm a nature versus nurture. I'm, you know what? The only reason I'm gay is because I watched Designing Women when I was a kid. All right.
Yeah, it's more that
I'm
what me
kidding.
in
I'm kidding.
college, Lifetime knew, like back when I actually had cable, Lifetime knew that between 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. every night, it needed to be Golden Girls followed by Designing Women. And then at 8 o'clock the next morning, Golden Girls Designing Women.
Mm-hmm.
They knew. So, like, that's how I stumbled upon it.
Yeah.
I just need to be listening to gay shit all the time. Okay.
I mean,
anyway.
nothing better except for good old Sister Wives. That's not too gay, but
John watched the diet episode today.
y'all, I got notes. I took notes.
Mouth
Anyway,
breather Bill. Okay.
next, babe.
Crossroads on Netflix. Great.
Love it.
I love it.
I canceled my Netflix,
God
though,
bless.
unfortunately,
Yes.
when they stopped doing the screen sharing or the whatever. So I have Crossroads on DVD, though. So if I need to pop that baby in, then
I just remember that in that movie, there is a storyline where Taryn Manning, who is pregnant, falls down the stairs, loses her baby, and then immediately I am supposed to be fully invested in whether or not Britney Spears loses her virginity. I'm like, but that other one just lost her baby. She just like fell down the stairs. I don't give a shit about
Justin
Britney
Long.
Fox.
Justin Long is the one gonna take Britney's Verge, except that she goes with y'all. That movie had heavy hitters in it.
It was written by Shonda Rhimes, who wrote Grey's Anatomy.
It was?
Yes. That makes it
You
so
know
much
what?
more
Kim Cattrall is in it.
I know
Full
she
circle
is.
here. Wow, the
Everything
synergy.
connects.
The synergy, baby. The synergy.
I'm buzzing. Okay, let's talk about. Okay, I have not watched this. Usually, I watch every season of Love Is Blind.
Okay.
But I always wait for it to be completely done so I can just like binge the shit out of it. But there's this whole controversy that like nobody can turn away from, that there's a girl who's 2 pounds over the weight of other Hollywood actresses.
Is that what people are upset about?
I think, well, because she runs at some point.
So basically, there's this situation where nowadays, I've never really watched Love Is Blind, but now
you would like it. It's good.
They're asking them to like, I guess, tell each other who they look like or give a reference of like who they look like as a celebrity. And this girl said she looked like Megan Fox. Now, I kind of honestly can see it.
She does look like her. Look at, like, if you cover up their right under their bottom lip, they really do resemble each other.
Her chin is
she has a bigger
larger,
chin.
And she also has like natural, like if she had as much like face work as Megan Fox, she would look just like Megan Fox.
She would look exactly like Megan Fox. Yeah. I don't know anything about this girl. She might be a total monster. Like, maybe I'm supposed to hate her, but just based on what I've seen on constant TikToks for the past few days, I don't feel like this was that out of the box. And this guy's a dick. And also, it negates the whole point of love. He looks like a thumb, everyone's saying, and he looks like Hank Hill.
Okay, but I have bigger things. This man named Trevor Sova.
Yeah, you keep sending me shit about him.
I don't know. I didn't watch it. But this fine looking man who's on our cover thing for this, he, I guess, has Great Danes. He like works out. Now, trust me, I would not want to date this guy either, because as Amanda texts me back, this man seems completely undateable. But he's fine as fuck.
He looks like he's gonna explode out of his skin at any moment.
I love that.
Ew, I don't.
Oof.
I don't want to like
look him up. He's fine. He is fine.
Okay, we just have different types.
But he got rejected.
Different types.
He got rejected. How sad.
Yeah, poor straight white 40-year-old-ish man in America.
I don't think he's 40. I think these people are like in their early 20s. Like,
yeah.
Girl, we're the seniors to them. We are
in the earlier
seniors.
versions of Love is Blind, they would, like, for the first couple seasons, they would pretend that there were people in the running that were, like, not conventionally attractive, although they still totally were. And then they never made the cut anyway. And now they don't even pretend like they're
I know.
entertaining that idea.
I
Like, can we
actually
just
don't
watch
even.
normal people?
Well, they choose some of the people, like Thumb Guy, are like not. They're like under. They're not like hot, at least. I think that's more what they go for, is people who just aren't necessarily hot, but they're not like completely busted.
All of these people are hot. This girl is hot.
Okay,
This
but
is
you
like
think Thumb Guy is hot? You think Thumb Guy's hot?
He's not bad looking. I've definitely had sex with way worse looking guys than that guy.
Jeez. Wow.
That's probably like really good too. Do you want to talk really quickly about now listen careful. Famously, Jody is not allowed to mention Beyonce because she mentioned it one time 3 years ago and the team came for her. So we don't talk about Beyonce.
Let's have our own renaissance here, y'all.
Okay.
Our own Beyonce renaissance. I love Beyonce. You know, I think some of her shit, I'm like, okay. Loved the last album, love a bunch of her music, loved the movie, would have gone to the tour if it wouldn't have cost $2,000.
I liked her in Goldmember.
I would say the one place I don't love her is in movies. I'm not loving her as an actress. But we're not talking about her acting today. We're talking about her new country career, which seems to have people up in arms because she's just trying to steal country music.
And yeah, guess who's the most mad? White people. Like, just go away.
Literally, people are trying to be like, yeah, she saw how popular Taylor Swift is, so she's trying to exactly take off of her. I'm like, you're fucking kidding, right? Like,
or maybe
there's literally take, people saying
country
that.
music back, like
there's
R&B back.
There's a really interesting thing where there's like all these conspiracy theories about what Beyonce is like, because you know her Renaissance album was Act 1. This now country part is being called Act 2, and people are theorizing that Act 3 will be rock music, because their idea is that she is bringing a new renaissance and taking those pieces, or like reclaiming those pieces of music for Black people, because Black people did originate rock music, country music, and what the Renaissance Act 1 album, which was like a disco and dance music. So I think that's kind of interesting. I'll be interested to follow it. I grew up with country music. Nowadays, I don't really listen to country music.
I'm from Calgary. It's like a cowboy town. But like hearing, okay, I'm gonna word this horribly, I think, but I feel like isn't it just kind of a known thing that like Black people just are much more musically talented than the rest? Than white people, for sure. She sounds so good singing this song.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
I love it. And I don't even like Beyonce because I have like a hatred toward her because of that whole thing that happened with Jody. So like I feel like I'm gonna fight with Beyonce.
We're losing viewers.
God, please be careful. But I listened to this Texas Hold'em song and I'm like, this song is amazing and she makes it better. Like she sounds amazing singing it. I don't know. I feel like people need to not have such like strong opinions about it. I think that's just a really cool, catchy song. Well, I love it.
Then maybe you might want to go back and explore the Renaissance album because it's disco-y, you know.
I don't listen to music really though.
Oh Lord. Well, you listen to a lot of bullshit. A lot of people talking in your ears.
I listened to the whole Yentl album twice last week though.
Cute. Anyway.
All right, next. So that's Beyonce, Texas Hold'em. Let her have country. She's gonna do something here, I feel. I feel like this is like a thing that's happening, and I'm so excited to watch it.
She's gonna have a whole country album. It's coming out, I think, in the
I'm
next
very
couple
excited.
months or so.
And she sounds legit. It doesn't sound weird. It doesn't sound like, oh,
No.
here's this person that shouldn't be singing country. She sounds totally normal singing country.
It's like a Beyonce version of country, which is cool. She's taking elements of that and making it her own too. As we continue to lose people watching us, but it's
got a lot of Beyonce haters on our hands here. All right, let's talk about let's get into what are we watching. Now, again, I have a new one that I'm working on, a new graphic. It'll be ready by next week, but I was able to turn the sound down on this.
Ooh,
however,
yay.
lest I fuck this up, which probably I did, still just be prepared. Let's get to this. Just be ready to pull your thing out. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. No, still completely as loud as it was last time.
It is still loud, but it is quieter. It's quieter.
I turned it all the way down.
Julian says that the volume's down, so
okay.
Sound is much better.
Great, okay. All right, well, next week's gonna be totally different anyway, so.
It was atrocious before, so much better is, you know.
I'm learning how to work Canva.
Ooh.
All right, what are you watching? So you saw a movie this week. I'm going to this movie tomorrow with Justine at noon. We'll be the only one in the theaters.
I love a superhero movie. I do. I love a superhero movie. So I've seen all the Spider-Man movies, which, if you did not know, Madam Web is associated with Spider-Man.
Right. I did not know that.
Amanda did not know that
yesterday
until I told her that. So I had heard things that this was the worst movie ever, the worst superhero movie, and I was like, I'm not going to see this. People literally were like, on TikTok, of course, where I get all pieces of information, are like, it'd be better if you just wiped your ass with the $20 you'd spend on this money. It'd be better well spent. I'm like, oh, really? Like, seriously? But then I saw some people saying how hilarious it was and how there were just really funny moments of whatever. So I'm going to give a play-by-play. I know there will be spoilers.
Yeah. Now, before you get into the play-by-play, I want to just have this tiny discussion on that. I was seeing this come up on all of my TikToks that people are comparing this to The Room, which this is one of the reasons I love you, is that you randomly also do know that reference and know what that is.
Yeah. I got really hardcore into The Room for a while.
Oh, I know.
And then they were going to be making a Room 2, I thought.
I think but I if anyone like, so people were saying like, oh, this is the new The Room, and then Joan yesterday was like, don't go in expecting it to be The Room, because it's not going to be that, because The Room is, I mean, it's smash.
The Room is The Room is The Room. You can't, like, there's no replicating that at all. Like, this movie very clearly had millions and millions, tens of millions, probably hundreds of millions of dollars thrown at it. It had multiple script writers. It had tons of shit. It's much different than Tommy Wiseau, writing his thing. Now,
Shannon says your favorite Nepo baby. Yeah,
Shannon,
John hates Nepo baby.
Thank you, because this movie was basically an homage to Nepo babies. We had a couple other Nepo babies in here, which will be surprising. So I'm just going to get, I don't know if anyone's really crying that I'm going to spoil something here. I don't know. Amanda's going to go see it tomorrow. And in my mind, I almost think if I tell the things now, you can then think about them when you're there and laugh about it.
Oh yeah, I don't give a shit.
Great.
Should we, me and Justine are going noon. Should we take like edibles?
Yes.
Yes.
All of it. All the above.
Like, don't be, okay. So it's better to watch a little sober. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I see almost every movie with a little tinge of something.
Yeah, but I feel like there's some movies that like it's better to watch completely sober. and then other
No,
ones
no,
that
no,
it's
no,
like,
no, 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 no. If you, no, no, no.
what's your favorite high movie?
Oh Lord, I couldn't
Mine's
even tell
Harry
you.
Potter,
Oh,
like the first one.
my beaker facing. And yeah,
I mean,
okay.
kind of. It's not really. You don't have as much. You don't have enough sadness in your soul to really create the beakers. So, no.
What did you ask? Okay, now I'm
What's your
lost.
favorite movie to watch while you're
I
high?
don't know. I don't really know. I can't say.
All right, I stressed you out. I sprung that on him.
That
All
was
right, but
hard. That was hard. That was kind of a.
I know. Well, it's like Billy on the street when he runs up and it's like, name one white person. It's like I
Well,
can't name anyone.
I think that it varies. I go through spurts. Right now I am watching like the Studio Ghibli movies, you know, like My Neighbor Totoro and like Howl's Moving Castle, all that. I just got
All right. No, totally. I'm watching all that too.
I was never into anime stuff before ever, and then they started doing this thing where you could go to at the movies, they play like old anime movies. And I was like, "Oh, you know what? I'll go try that." And some of them are really cool. They're really really cool. Not some of them, all of them. Anyway,
There's a lot of anime porn out there. All right. Anyway, Madam Web, tell us about this.
Alrighty. I took notes because I just knew this was necessary. So buckle in here. All right. Startup movie. This woman is in Peru. All right. She's 9 months pregnant and she's studying spiders with this other guy. She's there. She sees this thing and she's like, "Oh my God, it's the spider I've been looking for." Like the worst CGI spider you've ever seen in your entire life. And then the guy's like, "Give me that spider," because it has this magical power into it. Okay. The guy shoots the woman, ends up shooting the pregnant woman. Okay.
Well, why wouldn't you? Yeah.
Exactly. To steal the spider. When that happens, these spider people descend from the trees and they ascend upon this woman. Okay. Carry her to this cave and they put her in a puddle. All right. In this magical cave. This is in the first 2 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, I've seen TikTok videos about this. But you're describing it much better than they are.
They put her in this puddle, all right? And they take out one of these spiders that she found. The spider, she's in the puddle like this. You can see her belly like out of the puddle still. The spider crawls up right here on her chest. She makes no noise, no acting. That was a hallmark of this movie was dead face acting, which I think they did it because of good old what's her fuck Johnson girl, all right?
Dakota Johnson.
All right? Nepo baby. Everyone else had to have dead face acting too. That's what I'm saying. And that was to promote this movie. After this movie was like coming out, she fired her whole team and has distanced herself. But guess what? You get what you get, little Nepo baby. All right? Well, you think you deserve great shit? You suck. You don't deserve anything better.
Dude, right? I told you everyone needs to watch that SNL episode because it is so clear that something was going on behind the scenes. Because I don't remember any episode where the entire cast was clearly so disengaged and giving up within the first second of every
I just think she doesn't give anything. She does not give anything as an actress. Right. What do you work off with this bitch? Anyway, the mother is in the puddle. The spider bites her on the chest. And then literally no noise coming from this woman. She goes like this. And then this guy reaches into the puddle and pulls the baby out. Like she just gave birth to this baby silently and it just pops out. All right. That's where we start. That baby is Madam Web. That is where Madam Web came from. Dakota Johnson was that baby. All right. Her mother ends up dying and whatever. There is a Rosemary's Baby element, but there's also an element of like Final Destination. A Final Destination thing. Because Madam Web's entire power is that she can see like 5 minutes into the future, or like she can see partially into the future, but she does not have she doesn't have any actual physical powers. So every like fight scene or action scene is like her running away from something, or like her holding something up so things don't hit her, as opposed to like her, I don't know, fighting someone, because she has no powers.
She's like a cog or whatever that is in a Minority Report. Like I can see like the future, like
she basically starts using her powers to like predict what the bad guy's gonna do in 5 minutes. Like she's like, ooh, I know this piece of the wall is gonna come flying at me. I'm gonna hold up something to guard it. So to me, that's not really that fun.
I don't want to see this anymore now.
Now, here are some amazing things as I go. It has the worst ADR ever, which was pointed out in TikToks. The villain will be moving his mouth, and the words do not align at all with what he's saying. He also, mind you, he was the guy who shot the mother, the pregnant mother. He shows up now and is the villain for Madam Web, who is played by Dakota Johnson, who is what, 40? So we're saying that this man in 40 years, he did not change, but you know what did change? He has some gray streaks in his hair now. And these gray streaks, they reminded me of like when we would do shows, especially like college shit, where you had to play some older character and you'd use like the paint gray stick thing. You'd like do a gray like on your temples, which I have now anyway.
It's like a mascara one that you just
Or there's also like even jankier ones that are like a stick. It's like a wood stick with like paint kind of on the end that you dip in water and you put on your. That's what the villain of this movie had. All right. So okay, we find out that Dakota Johnson is a paramedic of some sort. All right. She goes through all these horrific situations. She's starting to feel these powers. Okay. Uncle Ben, who is from Spider-Man, who is Peter Parker's uncle, he is played in this movie by Adam Scott. Okay. Do you remember who Adam Scott is?
Yes, of course I fucking know who Adam Scott is.
Okay, so he's basically like Dakota Johnson's brother in the movie, but they work together as paramedics, okay? So there is a scene where Dakota Johnson is on the ground giving CPR. Now, CPR is a very vital part of this movie because there is later about, I'd say 90% you're 90% into the movie, Madam Web teaches these other 3 girls in a 5-minute scene how to do CPR. She's like, okay, now you're gonna like lock both hands in. You're gonna get on there and you're gonna keep pushing. You're gonna just keep going. You're gonna
staying alive. Like staying alive.
They never said a song name though. They never did any of that. It was just keep going. All right.
They didn't have the rights.
And then the next one's like, okay, are you gonna take over now? Okay, and this is them pretending. They do that for 5 minutes to teach people how to do CPR, because then a total of 10 minutes later, they have to give Madam Web CPR. Shocking. Luckily, she taught him how to give CPR, or else they wouldn't have known how to give
This honestly CPR. Sounds like an episode of Grey's Anatomy.
It kind of is. Okay, so here was my favorite line, all right? She is on the ground giving someone CPR. Adam Scott is running past her. Is running past her, right? With someone on a stretcher. Okay, she's doing CPR. This is her line to him. Hey, check his abdomen. And then Adam Scott goes, he looks down at the guy's stomach and says, and internal injuries. Good catch.
Well, that's what they do on Grey's too. His abdomen's distended. We need a crash cart in here.
They would not. She would not in 1 second would she say, hey, check his abdomen. And then he's like, oh, and internal injuries. Good catch. The fuck?
People do shit on site. These doctors, they know everything.
I will say there were, now I could keep going, but I'm already feeling drained of all energy from this.
And you're giving it all away, Joan.
There's one cool scene, I'll say. that uses the song Toxic. Oh, because in case you didn't know, this movie takes place in 2003, and they basically want to punch you in the face over and over to tell you that it's in 2003. Over and over and over. They show like
Why
beyond.
though? Is there a reason it's in 2003, or just we
I think
decided
it's
to make this
the
2 years after 9/11?
the only reason I can think of is because technically Peter Parker's mother is pregnant with Peter Parker in this movie.
Okay.
Peter Parker's
okay.
Spider-Man.
I get it.
And so they're like trying to be like, oh, now Peter Parker's is 20 in 2023. Or y'all, I say go see it. Get wasted, laugh.
I don't like watching movies drunk, but I do like watching them like mildly high, so I can just like focus.
One cool sequence, okay? Remember, she can like remember, or she can see into the future for like not a ton of time. She sees into the future that these girls that she's protecting, these other spider girls.
Auntie Krista just said all the energy just left John's face. I've seen that dissolve hundreds of times in my life.
She's supposed to like be saving these fucking other spider girls. That anyway. So there's this sequence where she hears the song Toxic playing, the Britney Spears song.
Britney Spears, okay, I got it. Yeah.
So then she's like, that's playing in her mind. She's like, oh fuck, whatever. And she's like, ooh, I gotta go save them from the villain who's trying to kill them every time he sees them. And she's like, so then she's like, okay. And then her memory of that goes away. And then she hears on the radio the start of the song Toxic. Like she knows that she has that amount of time to get to.
This is sounding like that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Marianne Cotillard and Ellen Page. Sorry, that's not what they go by anymore. Elliot Page. With the dreaming. Leonardo DiCaprio, Elliot Page, Marianne Cotillard, and it's about dreams and how you can control your dreams. And
Inception. Yes.
Inception.
It is kind of like they were trying to do too fucking much.
Thank you, people. Yeah, everyone knew.
Come to find out that Madam Web in the comics, which all of this is coming from, is not even really like a character that really does anything. So they've tried to like add all this bullshit in. And yeah, I mean, it was an event.
All right, well, we'll see. Well, I'm watching that tomorrow, and then I'll keep you tuned on when I'm gonna get home. Then we'll record our Broad City episode. All the things that's happening tomorrow. Are you okay with that? We haven't discussed this plan yet.
Oh yeah,
I'll be home around 3:30. Yeah, I'll be normal time. Okay. Oh, I forgot to say that final season is airing sometime this year, and it's the final season. Y'all, you should watch that, John. I feel like you'd love it. It's pretty. I feel like you would like it. It's pretty horny. I just twitched.
Yeah, but is it straight horny, or is there gay horniness in it?
It's kind of gay too. No, there's a lot of gay stuff, a lot of lesbian stuff. Can I say this really quickly? I feel like I need to say this every few episodes, especially for new listeners or viewers. But
yes,
I have Tourette syndrome, so that's why it looks like I'm like freaking out every so often, and I'm like rolling my eyes. I have Tourette's. Anyway, that's that. Just know that, and I'm totally fine with it.
I just like figure that Amanda's just a big old bitch.
Yeah.
Constantly rolling her eyes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's so gross.
I just look like a psycho.
So annoying.
Okay, let's get. Oh, we already did. Okay, Madam Web. Okay, do you want to do VPR or Traitors before we move?
Here's my thing.
Pooptown.
Let's do VPR because I don't have much to say about it except I'm tired of listening to them try and make me want to like Tom Sandoval.
I don't like any of them. They're all terrible people.
I actually think the show is. I don't think the show's going to last past this season. And I'm wondering if they're starting the Valley show so that they can put Schwartz, Sandoval. No, I think that they're going to transfer them to the Valley show, to also cut Vanderpump out of it.
This is like I see that happening.
I see that happening. Prediction.
Okay, but the only like really like the real like star of the show this episode, this most recent episode, episode 3, I guess, is Tom Sandoval is okay. The Tom
Horrible.
Sandoval impression, I feel okay.
Oh.
I would compare Tom Sandoval if you're like a person starting out doing their first impression ever. This is the safest way to start because everyone can do this impression because this is all it is. Lisa!
Yeah, guys. Like,
I
did everything for Ariana. I did everything for her.
They were so mean to Raquel on a podcast, and then Billy. God, I felt so bad.
I'm so done. I'm done with Vanderpump Rules. Honestly, I'm done. I don't know that I'm gonna watch any more of it.
We have to keep watching it because I think people like to listen to us talking about it.
Oh yeah, I have an obligation now. I forgot.
You do. You have to. And then Lisa's like, Tom, you absolutely have to fix this, Tom. And he's like, I'm trying, Lisa.
Like, I did everything I could. I only fucked her friend like multiple times and I lied about it. Like,
and I cry and people say crocodile tears. And I'm over here like, God, I'm hurting too.
I think he is just so like, I mean, he was a narcissist before, but he's showing how much of a narcissist he is in this shit because he turns everything back about him.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Tom Sandoval's voice as an impression is the equivalent of when you get a new ukulele. Like if you pick up the ukulele for the first time and you decide to play Leaving on a Jet Plane because it has 3 chords and they're all open chords. That's the equivalent of the beginner's level of impressions is Tom Sandoval and then Leaving on a Jet Plane.
I think that with Tom Sandoval, he's just really sparking in me this like feeling constantly that the internet and things like we're doing right now were a mistake. I mean, I understand you guys want to listen to us. We're relatively like tolerant to listen to, but like just letting any person get online and just talk is like, it was the mistake of the world. Like, we need to go back to the time when we didn't have this shit.
Danielle says, I only want to hear John review movies that do not impress him. This is delightful. Yeah, we can have a total. I would love to have like a whole, like a bunch of segments where John just kind of like pops off and I don't have to do anything. I
love to rant. I do.
Yeah.
But maybe,
I'm up for it.
Yeah, we're going to do a,
this would be good. I would enjoy. Fat Lemon says I would enjoy watching a conversation between Tom and Cody because both of them are so good at just, like reflecting back on themselves. What is happening down here? Do you hear all this?
Yeah.
Like, is someone drilling a hole in the ground outside my house? The two of them would just be topping each other on. But then this happened to me too.
Yeah, I get that. Fair. Like, love should be multiplied, not divided. That's my theory too. Like,
Cody would be so excited though because whenever, like, you'll see whenever he gets around straight men, he gets so excited. Like, yeah. Hey, buddy. Hey, brother. What is going on out there? Do you hear this?
I thought that was like
tractor trailer
something
or something
in your house.
No, it was like just out there. My window's open though. Okay.
Okay, guys. Amanda watched The Traitors, and that's why I wore this shirt and this hat. Because Amanda watched The Traitors.
Traitors, baby.
I know last week she was supposed to watch it and she didn't, and then I whined about it, and so she did watch it. Now
I did. I'm caught up to I'm halfway through season 6.
Season 6.
Episode 6.
There's 8 episodes, Amanda.
I think they're like I think they're scraping all of the pavement out of the road outside.
Okay. It sounds like when a plane lands. You know, like that sound when a plane lands and it's like, like seriously.
Yeah. The road's fine.
So okay, from the Traitors, like, what are you? Do you want to get at this with the moments? What are you feeling here? Like, because there were moments that happened.
Oh, I also, on my hot topics, I had the Drake video. Which I feel like
I think we talked about that last time, didn't we?
No, I think you and me just talked about it.
Oh.
But fine. He's got like a huge slinging dick, but it's like not hard at all. That's the end of that.
Open the window and say, "Hey, I've got a live to do. I've got a live to do.
Pot in the city, bitch." Right. This guy's making like $13 an hour, I'm sure. Okay, what are we talking about? Oh, okay, the Traitors. Alan Cumming. I want to talk about Alan Cumming because I've thought that he was like, I've always been super like confusedly attracted to him forever. Ever since I videotaped on VHS in 1998, I want to say, the Tony Awards. Scarlett Pimpernel was in there. Lion King was in there. So 1998, 1996. What was Lion King?
Lion King was 95. So then it could have been in the 96 Tonys.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's in the one.
Well, anyway, the Cabaret revival was there.
Yeah. I remember that vividly. Him in the jacket with the thing, with the harness.
The suspenders.
And how he was so white and his nipples were like really
he
bright.
Was so like, the thing I love about Alan Cumming, which I wish that I could elicit this kind of energy.
Okay, what is going on? Should you maybe close the window?
Yeah, I guess I'll close the window. It's so hot. All the heat comes in here right there. Jesus Christ.
What?
All the heat in the upstairs comes out of this room. Anyway,
get prepared to see Amanda sweating.
Oh, they're used to it, baby.
Okay, so you like Alan Cumming.
I think that he elicits such a perfect energy of, like, his energy is always just amused. Like, I'm amused. And a little cheeky.
Yeah.
I love
he gives
that
like
about
the
him.
perfect vibe for the show, I think. He has like
he's the star.
A mysterious air and,
Yeah, and he I thought Amanda was just really hungry. I just took my Ozempic shot this morning, so I've been puking all day. Amanda, he is just such a star. He's so funny. He's so in on the joke. He's hilarious. I have a couple other things that I wrote down here. Well,
there's a couple moments like, okay, they vote off Peppermint. Trishelle is a total bitch because of the way that Peppermint reacted. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't really understand that though. I didn't understand what the tension was there.
Here's a problem that I have is, I don't know if you've gotten to this episode later, but Trishelle basically comes after Phaedra, which Phaedra is a traitor. Trishelle comes for Phaedra and she's like, well, your reactions just weren't like, you don't really have much of a reaction. And if I were to have been Phaedra, I'd have been like, okay, but you got Peppermint kicked out for having too much of a reaction. So what is it, babe? I don't have enough reaction for you? And I have to say there's something that seems very similar between Peppermint and Phaedra. That Trishelle may have some kind of underlying issue with, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
I feel like Trishelle was kind of not problematic, but she was like annoying on Real World, right?
Privilegey.
Now, they should have kept Peppermint, but her exit was pretty fabulous. Like,
I think all of the exits are always so good. All of them are good.
I love it.
Because I just love seeing the people who are so like strong on thinking they're right, who they're like, that person's a traitor. They're such a traitor. They're totally a traitor. And then they get up and they're like, I'm a faithful. And they're like, what?
Now, who do you think that I would have the biggest crush on in this house?
From the start?
Yeah. It's a man.
CT. I would have the biggest crush on CT.
No, CT gives me too much like Bam Margera energy, but I am starting to like CT a little more, but it's someone kind of, well, not really CT adjacent.
Dan?
Yes.
Ew.
I would like marry him.
Ew.
But he kind of seems gay. Like I looked up, like I wrote,
Oh.
Dan
Okay.
Traitor is gay.
Okay, but you've seen.
But he's not, of course.
Is he on it still with you?
I know it. I haven't seen that episode, but I know what happens.
Oh.
Phaedra's the only one holding it down at this point. I know.
Yeah, basically. And the 2 times that people have tried to come for Phaedra are they get annihilated, basically. Poverty and her. And Poverty, here's all I can think about Poverty. She would wear this like a thing on her head, like looks like a diaper over her head, and then her face was always this.
Oh yeah, the headbands. Always the headbands, yeah. That was her thing. Do we like Parvati? I feel like people like her. I don't know if
She's
I'm supposed to like her.
Fine on Survivor. It's hard to keep track because I think she's been on Survivor multiple times. And I think sometimes you like her, but sometimes I don't know. It's hard to say. On this, I thought she was fine, but I thought she again tried to come for Phaedra. And I kind of think when you start going after Phaedra has not tried to go after the other traitors out of nowhere. She's gone after them when they've gone after her. Because Parvati was one of the people going after her, and Dan was one of the people going after her. They tried to throw her under the bus, acting like, oh, well, she's the person. And to me, when you start doing that, it's kind of like shady.
Now, okay, I don't really understand the game still. So the traitors. So Phaedra's the only traitor left right now.
Yeah.
What happens now?
Well, at the very end of the most recent episode, Phaedra has the choice to recruit another person for the traitors.
Oh.
And she walks down, or they can invite someone, and you're like, ooh, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? And then they show someone walk down into this like dungeon area to become a traitor.
Okay.
Do you want to know who it was?
Yeah, sure. Spoiler, 3, 2, 1.
Kate Chastain.
Who's Kate?
She's the one who's on Below Deck.
Oh, the new one.
She was on the first season of Traitor, the first season, and she was like a total, like, she just was a wrench in all their shit, basically. She like would throw money out during the challenges. She bitched at all of them.
Here's a couple of things I wrote down. Dan, I thought looked like Ralph Macchio. That's like, I honestly thought it was Ralph Macchio for like the first 2 episodes. Deontay is wearing a Heart of the Ocean necklace in all of his possessions, which Cody Brown possesses.
Okay, but that one was probably real on that guy, Deontay.
Oh, well, of course. Peppermint did really good. And then Larsa Pippen, I was like looking up who she was. And I was like, oh, I'm like, in my head, I was like, oh, probably she's married to Scottie Pippen. And I looked it up, and my mind was blown that Scottie Pippen is black. I thought that he was white, just always. Just a really white name, right? I got him confused.
No, I never once in my life thought Scottie Pippen was white, because I grew up in a time when like you knew who Scottie Pippen was. He was on the Bulls, like with Michael Jordan, which is the crazy thing, that Larsa Pippen is dating Michael Jordan's son, who's 20 some years younger than her. Like,
oh yeah.
How old would you think Larsa Pippen is? Based on watching that.
Let me get her in my head. 48.
Okay, well, she is like 50. I would have thought you would have guessed like not as old. I think she might be.
No, they all have that nose. They all just look weird because they all have the exact same nose.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like the Traitors. I think I liked the first season more possibly than I do this
now,
one.
You know what this reminds me of, and I feel like you might not even know that this show existed. It ran in the summertime, I think, but it was called Claim to Fame. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it. I didn't watch it. Wasn't like Donny Osmond's cousin.
Yeah. Okay. So I have this pulled up here. So it's just where a bunch of celebrities, like relatives, go in a house and everyone has to figure out who the celebrity is. Mm-hmm. This fucking guy walks in. I'm like, oh, Donny Osmond.
But they never guessed him.
No, they didn't.
Here's the hard part about that show is they
no
have
one knows
people.
who Donny Osmond is.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is they have some of these people related to like celebrities that like I wouldn't know who that is. Like I wouldn't know who those celebrities are. Now, if you have someone related to Tom Hanks, duh, I know who Tom Hanks is. But some of the other people competing, they didn't even know who Donny Osmond was. At the end, I think when they revealed who he was, they were like, "Who's Donny Osmond?"
Have you watched Australia or UK, Joan?
No, but I would. I think they are on Peacock. So
I need to finish up my Greys.
One thing I have been watching, if anyone's a RuPaul's Drag Race fan, is they now have RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World 2 going on right now, which has queens from like the Philippines, the Netherlands, France, like all the different franchises from all over. And oh my God, it's really good. It's really, really good. It's on WoW Presents Plus.
I don't really like to discuss Drag Race either because if you think I'm not well received on a Sister Wives podcast, wait until you hear how the gays
of
Drag Race.
I know that Alexis Michelle isn't a fan, but I haven't heard of others.
Oh, allegedly, Joan. It was not Alexis Michelle. Okay, she said it in the email. I'm not Alexis Michelle, so it wasn't her.
I mean, that's what I do too. Whenever I'm trolling someone. I'm not John Moan, but I've heard of that person. You should stop being so mean to him. That's what I'm going to do on that website that people comment bad things about people on. I don't know her, but I hear that she's really nice, and I hear she's not mean to her friends. And
right. Anyway. Really quickly, I'm not going to go into a whole Grey's tirade. Jody just texted me. She hasn't texted me all day, and I've been nervous. And no,
that's proof. Did you pay her to do that? Are you just trying to prove that you guys that she texts you?
I set up like a scheduled text. Grey's Anatomy. I just pressed play on season 19, John. And and I feel okay, like this is buried far into the episode, but for TRP, so next week we're doing an episode of like Kim's Convenience, but for the very last episode of last week of February, I'm assigning Jody the musical episode of Grey's Anatomy. It's going to be a total shit show. Nick Kachanov from the Good Vanilla and Best Supporting podcast, and my former co-host of the Drag Race podcast, is going to be a guest. It's going to be unhinged.
How exciting.
Very excited. But then also in March for TRP, we're doing a very special episode month. Do you know what that means?
You texted me asking me if there was one I wanted to do, and and
then you probably
never responded because I actually didn't quite know what you meant. And the only one that I could think of was the Saved by the Bell one. So,
which we've done already. No, we have some good ones lined up. And for my birthday week, we're doing a Degrassi episode. I think it's the one where Drake gets shot.
Oh.
And ends up in a wheelchair. Yeah, woof. That's it. I will finish up my Grey's journey by the end of this week, and then next week I will come back with a full diatribe. I might have a graphic.
Ooh.
That's it. Are we ready to go into Browntown?
Yeah, let's do this thing.
Okay.
I've been waiting.
All right. So I've made a new graphic that kind of incorporates Pod in the City's energy into Love to Hate, like Browntown and everything. So cast your eyes upon that.
When are you going to grow up and accept some responsibility?
I love it.
I mean, it was minimal effort, but I was like, I like this. It's good.
I mean, I know you have a thing for juicy farts, so it makes sense.
I definitely love juicy farts, and I think B. Arthur would definitely hate Robin.
Oh my
B. Arthur
God.
would shade the shit
out. Oh
of
my God. Robin would cry.
Cody, she's so mean to me, Cody. right.
Anyway,
Now,
we get to start this episode, the Sister Wives Diet
wait.
Woes.
Joan, we need
Oh,
to
I
go through
forgot you do all
Instagram first.
this. I forgot.
Well, don't act too excited about it. Fuck. All right. We got a couple Christine Instagrams. It was Valentine's Day last week. So we just get to see a bunch of weird pictures of her and David and Truly. This is the youngest daughter that gets born on camera, Joan. Anyway, that's it. I'm over it. Like, I was really happy. That was it. Just she posted like, David, we've been public for an entire year now. Mary, now she has a B&B called Lizzie's Heritage Inn.
Were they doing a pride thing?
She's doing, well, her one child, Leon, yeah. So, but I feel like these rainbows. Okay, she's doing a St. Patrick's Day tour at Lizzie's Heritage Inn. And she does have a bunch of rainbows, but I feel like it's 50-50 on whether or not she's referencing gay pride or just, St. Patrick's Day, leprechauns.
Okay,
it's kind of up in the air.
Do you know anything about that family that like they came out with now? Like, oh God, this woman's name was Frankie. Ruby Frankie.
Ruby Frankie, yeah.
I was getting vibes of that woman and her like woman. Like, do you know any info about that?
From this episode you just watched?
Yeah.
I know who Ruby Frankie is, yeah.
You know, Ruby Frankie, right? Who abused her children horrifically and is like in prison.
And she had like an assistant that helped her.
She had like a mommy, basically. It wasn't like an assistant. It was like her guardian or her like mentor type, who was this like woman. Oh, Jody Hildebrandt. Okay, Jody Hildebrandt.
Yeah.
She was like, and a lot of people thought they were in a relationship of some kind of thing or whatever, you know. I was getting that vibe when they're sitting on the couch and Mary is sitting there next to Robin. Okay, it's Cody in the middle, Mary and Robin. And Mary's saying something next to Robin about how she maybe something like, oh, you know, I wouldn't mind having Robin's figure, blah, 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 or something like that. And it was very much giving me like, Mary's gonna fucking munch her box hardcore at some point.
Oh no, that's been a theory for everyone.
Oh,
that she's like that. There was some weird like dynamic there. Before we move into the actual episode that you watched, Janelle, this is so amazing. Sorry, Janelle went on a cooking journey. Now, you know, last week she was baking bread.
I saw her bread. I also, you know, it was so topical because she was also checking out the gym, her new Pilates studio, and she was going to try and tackle the hotel gym. So I was kind of hoping we might get an update on the hotel gym. But
no, but it was the Super Bowl, Joan. So she was making some Super Bowl, or maybe this wasn't the Super Bowl, but she made a couple snacks and she posted them on her Instagram. First was bruschetta. And it's like just the most busted bruschetta you've ever seen. Here we go. Making bruschetta for tonight's it's for Valentine's Day. Galentine's Day party. Can you describe just everything you're seeing in this? Unhinged.
Well, one, it's kind of small.
The text is covering.
I'm seeing the pre-sliced bread pieces, which you can buy a pre-sliced crostini. I'm seeing a very finely mirepoix. It's not mirepoix. I don't think it's called a something where you dice up the like little tomatoes. I was worried at first because I didn't see that there was basil, but thank you. There is basil on the side. And what I also learned was that high fat lemons, that's a store or something. I thought that was just your name. Isn't that a Sister Wives reference?
No, Fat Olives. But she's referencing Cody, whenever he goes to a restaurant, orders like 1,000 lemons because he'll make himself free lemonade. Like a stupid piece of shit. Yeah, he'll just like, whenever you see them at a restaurant, you'll notice that there's just lemons everywhere because he'll order, can you bring me 27 lemons? And then he'll do that and then put sweet and low and make like free lemonade. It's like, I'll give you the $2 that would have cost you, Cody.
Okay, here's some intel here. Mary wanted Robin and Robin wanted Logan. What?
These are all just things you need to like develop, like learn the jokes as you go. Because Robin has this dynamic with Logan of like, he totally has a crush on me. And you can tell Logan's like, get the fuck away from me. I already have all of your herpes just from like being in the same room as you.
There was a lot of bumpy lip situation going on in everything this whole episode.
It's fine. The herpes is the name of the game. And here up next, ham and cheese pinwheels with the Pioneer Woman's recipe. #Galentine's Day party. Now, me and Jody broke this down on the episode that's going to release tonight at like midnight.
Okay.
How awful this would have, like, I'm not touching this. And there's shredded
I will
cheese.
say, I like a ham. I would have torn that up.
Really? I'm standing next to a shrimp ring at a party. That's my jam.
Yeah, but I feel like Janelle has to know, like, she can probably make food. Like, are Mormons like typically good cooks?
It's
I
not
don't really
a
know.
Mormon thing. In the last season, she made a full lasagna out of her sink with like dirty dishes just like kind of like around.
Wait, what?
A lasagna. And then there was like a full turkey thawing out, like submerged in dirty dishes. Joan, you have so much to visit still. Yeah, the shredded cheese probably got still mixed into the cream cheese. Yeah, I know, but just the.
You don't like shredded cheese?
Well, you're not supposed to have shredded cheese because it has like flour in it so that it doesn't melt as well. And
okay,
also,
that's
if you're
anti-caking agent. It's often cellulose or starch, food starch.
Right, but that's like that's not the best thing to use. But also, all that aside, if you're picking up like a little like burrito thing, like a pinwheel, and it's shredded, it's all gonna like fall out everywhere.
See, I'm thinking though this is gonna get baked.
No, it is. Me and Jody went through a whole thing.
Oh, okay.
She's like, no, it's pizza dough. So I think she.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is getting rolled up and then like sliced like cinnamon roll style. And you know what? I love a ham and cheese situation.
I'd probably like that then. Yeah. Yeah. All right, but you watch. So anyway, Janelle had a big baking week. She's having quite the month. She's in North Carolina with Caleb Brash and but you watched an episode, and it's on my list. If anyone wants to see this list, it's the definitive list. If you just want to quickly catch up on Sister Wives, check it out on me and Jody's TikTok at Love to Hate Pod. I don't know, you'll find us, but it's pinned. This is Sister Wives Diet Woes. You all know it. John watched it. What do you think?
Alrighty, from the top. All right, Mary really likes this new personal trainer.
Ew, he's such a mouth breather. His breath smells so bad.
I don't know how to feel about Bill because there's like 1 out of 20 angles. I'm like, oh, he's not he's not like scary. And then other ones, I'm like, ay, like when she does the squats and all that, I'm like curious. All right. We learn that we have, let's see. So they do this thing where they come into the fucking house and I'm like, do you need to zoom in on their stomachs? It's like you see the door open, zoom right in on Janelle's stomach. All right. They have
like,
all this.
Joan, I don't know if you run hot or cold, but I famously run very hot. Can you imagine wearing this outfit to work out?
No.
Like, also it's so tight. Like
none of the outfits.
Tight, you're pitting it out.
Oh no, I need loose. I need like, yeah, no. I would feel so self-conscious too.
Yeah. Well,
I don't need all my rolls on display. All right. I don't need all that.
You do a tank top and then like an oversized Esprit t-shirt.
Exactly.
Like scissored.
From T Public.
From T Public.
Now, they go to work out at Anytime Fitness. We get to meet Bill. And he tells us, sorry, now I have the hiccups. He's not a drill sergeant. Okay. And then the part that really sent me over was they're about to start. Did you leave?
No, I was just hitting my vape.
They're about to start weighing in, and the music starts playing. It's like all happy-go-lucky until it's like time to weigh in, and it's like
Carmina Burana.
It's like beep, 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 beep.
It's the Requiem for a Dream theme song. Dun, dun,
like,
dun, 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 dun.
I'm like, why are we making this sound like this is like hell, I guess? And then we find out, like, I mean, I have absolutely no concept of weight at all. I wouldn't have thought that any of them were over 200 pounds. But I have no concept of weight. Because they even said like Christine was like 220 something.
This is so fucked up that, like, I can't believe that none of the, like, this was definitely a fight. If I were any one of these women, I'd be like, I'm not having my weight read on national fucking television.
This reminds me of, like, in junior high, you'd have to do like quarterly
presidential.
You just had to do this. I don't know why they made you do this. This was how you got your grade, maybe. They would,
I don't think
you'd go run around some, you'd see how many pull-ups you could do in front of the group, which for me was always 0. You could see how many push-ups, how many sit-ups you could do. And then they would literally make you go in the locker room and they would call you up one at a time to go stand on the scale, and they would weigh you and then shout out your weight to like the other coach to write it down. And I'm thinking, thanks. Are you guys going to pay me some retribution here? Because that's a big contributor to my therapy now. I really appreciate it.
I don't think they ever read out our weight, but I know that yearly we had to do the Terry Fox run, which is this famous Canadian from like the 70s, 80s who got bone cancer in his leg when he was like 19. So he ran across Canada on a prosthetic. Do you know this story?
No.
No one knows this, and it's the most famous person.
But it's a Canadian thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but that should be more famous. Anyway, every year in school, you have a Terry Fox Day, and I would always try to have food poisoning for the Terry Fox Day, because you were like there to. He died in the middle of the run, by the way.
Oh,
so fun. So we're honoring Terry Fox, and you have to run around the field for like 3 hours, and then you pick up a popsicle stick at the end of everything, and then at the end, like whoever has the most popsicle sticks wins.
We did those too.
And I'm like, I have 2. I walked the whole time. I strolled the whole time.
I'm gonna tell you my most traumatic situation. I was in 9th grade. I found out that you could sign up to be in a sports team, and if you were on a sports team of some sort, you did not have to do PE. Okay, so you could be on a sports team.
It's a loophole. Okay,
instead of being in PE. All right, so I signed up for tennis. Now, I didn't really know how physically demanding tennis really is. You're constantly running back and forth.
Oh, that was my sport. I was almost a professional tennis player.
Really?
Yes, I was like on track to be that. But then I decided to take the very smart profession of a musical theater degree.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say you probably were never like Serena and Venus. So, I mean, you probably chose the right.
I feel like I was fine. Yeah.
That's what I think that with professional sports, it's like, you know.
Yeah, but at least then I'd be like skinny still. I'd be like in good health.
So I sign up for this. Mind you, it whooped my ass hardcore. I never won a game ever in the whole thing. I was co-captain of the team because it was voted in. It was like a popularity contest. So I was able to become the co-captain, but I never won a game. I was horrible at the actual sport.
Were you just just do whatever you feel like doing? You're fine. Like, go.
Oh, what? Like as a captain?
Yeah, where you just like do
As a
it.
captain, it was just a name. It literally meant nothing. Like you didn't do anything. I don't remember actually doing anything. I didn't lead people how to like play tennis. I didn't know. I was the worst person on our team, basically. Anyway,
We should play tennis.
Comes towards the end of the school year, and it's like, okay, cool. You guys got like 2 months left. Tennis, we're done. We're not doing it anymore. You have 2 more months. And we're like, okay. I'm like, okay, what are we gonna have to do for 2 months? Like, I did this so I don't have to do PE. They decided they were going to put us in an athletic conditioning class with the football team. So it was headed by the football coach and their whole coaches. And it was basically the football team after they were playing, like done playing games, and they just threw the poor tennis kids in it. Every day we would have to run like multiple miles a day. We would do that thing. I don't think its name is now appropriate anymore, but it's like something sprints where you're in a long line of people. And if you're on the back of the line, when it gets to your turn at the back, you have to sprint to the front of the entire line while everyone's still jogging. So this whole line is jogging, right? And if you're at the back, you have to continue to jog, but like double time run to the front of this line to keep the line going. Okay. That was torture. I wanted to die. I can't even believe that they made us do that. I look back at it and I cry.
Yeah, they need to figure out how to handle like health in a better, more mentally stable way.
I just kind of think like there's this whole thing about how now like everyone's burnt out, yada yada yada, and I'm like, it's because like when we were kids, you forced us to like push ourselves to the brink of death, like
and
literally
humiliate ourselves by
like, no wonder
us pick teams.
No wonder we want to like chill out. We want to like do nothing.
Okay, so back to the episode, they're getting weighed in, but Robin's like 5 minutes pregnant because Daddy put a baby down there. And she's at she's working out with Bill, but she's like, oh, I'm just gonna here's her. He's rolling it out. I'm like, you are 5 minutes pregnant, bitch. You're fine.
I wrote, is Robin okay? I had a little bit before that. So Mary's really flirtatious with Bill during the weigh-in. Mm-hmm. She's like, don't push it there. And he's like, you didn't want to go to 250? Then Bill tells Janelle, you skipped this part because this is where I was like,
oh no,
are you for real? Bill tells Janelle that she's going to end up hating her life, crying herself to sleep, killing a baby, basically dying because she's so overweight. She's so massive, and she is the number one person that needs it.
And Janelle like reacts the same way I think anyone who has had a problem with their weight throughout their life. She's like, I am aware of all of this. Exactly. You don't need to tell us that we are overweight. Like, we fucking know. But thanks, Bill.
I don't know that I need men to tell women how to deal with their bodies because this woman has pumped out children and stuff. Like, that is a huge babies. Well, that's a huge contributor to where she's probably at in that, even if it isn't. But I'm going to say that is probably a part of it. Duh.
And Bill's a 26-year-old like man.
You thought he was 26?
Well, I don't know what he's supposed to be, but like he's the worst. But,
I wanted to ask. I figured someone in here, like Jean. Where's Bill? Have we found Bill? Have we tracked Bill down? Have we taken a class from Bill?
I think Ace and Caitlin have maybe tried to find. They've looked into him, and I don't think or maybe he is. I think he might still be a personal trainer. But anyway,
I want to go get a session with Bill.
Yeah. Be like, oh yeah, Bill? Oh yeah?
Exactly.
Tell me what else to do, Bill.
Then we get to see Robin on the foam roller being like, like you don't hear her, but I'm imagining the sounds that she's making, and it's like her on the foam roller being like,
God, wait until you see her give birth to Solomon. It's
Oh yeah, you don't. No.
God. Yeah, you're gonna love it.
So then Bill's looking over Janelle's shoulder while they're on the thing, and he's like, "How'd that feel?" While she's like doing these like I don't even know what those are. She's like holding a bar and like kneeling. I wouldn't even
She's
call it
not doing
really an
anything.
exercise. It's like she's like bending her knees. You know.
Production definitely had to like convince her to even attend this filming.
Well, I don't understand what the reason was here. And then this was the really crazy part. We do hard cut. Here's the Episcopalian priest.
Yeah.
The fuck? That's the B story. That's the B storyline in this episode, is that this Episcopalian priest.
There's a follow-up on this. There's like a follow-up in a few episodes where they like go and like do like
because they're supposed to go to the east. The colleges in the east.
Yes, and those episodes are all amazing too. They're amazing.
Hey, if you guys are just joining us and you're not subscribed, please push subscribe. I didn't say it 50 million times this episode.
We never send out emails.
Oh yeah, no. We just need 1,000 subscribers desperately, babes. Yeah. So the Episcopalian priest, and they go and they're like, "Oh, do you want to go have dinner? Let's go get dinner together." And I cannot even fathom going with them to go to is that when they go to Little Dumpling Buffet?
Yeah.
One, I'm not inviting a guest to a buffet. All right. I'm not inviting a guest to a buffet.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It's there's like the discussion that TLC has smartly kept the Brown family kind of poor, kind of like middle class. Always, whenever they take a trip, they always make them use an RV or several RVs or a bunch of cars, like, because it's funny content. So like TLC will pay for stuff. They'll pay for a trip every year, but it's going to be like the most like busted ass thing you're going to see. So of course they're taking them to like an all you can eat Chinese buffet at 8 p.m.
But those are expensive, aren't they? Like,
no, I feel like they're like $2.99.
I'll tell you,
I've been to several Chinese buffets.
I've personally only gone. I went when I was a kid to a Chinese buffet, but I have not recently. I went one time in college. All right. There was a Chinese buffet across from, like, in the parking lot of the 136. I went one day with two of the boys that we were there with. We go in.
Sorry. So in our complex of the apartment, there was a Chinese buffet set up outside.
It was like in this kind of the same place where the Jack in the Box was. You know how that was kind of like the same parking lot, but there was like the wall. You didn't have.
I see what you mean.
It was like right there.
No main roads. Yes.
Yeah. Basically, what I'm getting at is it was like right there. So I think
you're not talking about the Mexican restaurant, Filiberto?
No, I worked at the Mexican restaurant. Remember? That was over there.
Where that
Top Shelf.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Okay, done. Yeah, okay.
This is a different place. So me and two of the boys, we, smoked some of that like, brick weed that we got from Dishwater. And we go to the buffet. We walk over there. I think we hopped the fence and then walked over there. We sit down and then we go up to the buffet. And the food on it was so like revolting, honestly. Like in the night,
it's like watching food poisoning just in front.
I'm just like, what? How long has this been sitting here? We ended up leaving, but it was so freaking awkward because we were one of the only people there. And so then we had sat down, and then how do you go up, look at it, and then you're like, But at this one, at the Little Dumpling Buffet, they actually had like a what do they call that? Like yakitori or something, like where you can get stuff and put it in a bowl and then they like cook it on a thing. They have places like that here, like one's called YC. Oh, a Mongolian grill, I think is what they call that or something.
Okay.
So that's what Robin had, was she was like, she had gotten chicken and they put whatever kind of shit in it, and then they had cooked it. Because she's over at a buffet like lineup, and she's like, "Oh, do you have chicken?" And you could tell all those meats were like raw, because that's how they do it. Like they have the like uncooked meat.
But do you see how she's like, I'm so skinny.
Well, they acted like she didn't need to eat the wet salad anyway. Like it didn't matter because she was so
Right.
um
And then
thin.
Cody's even being a dick at the table. He's like, "Okay, guys, make sure you're all getting water because you can't get Sprite because you're on diets." And then meanwhile, Robin's like, "My stomach hurts. I'm just gonna get 3 pounds of lo mein on a plate, please."
She also had an egg roll that she poured the sauce across the top, which what?
Right. With
You wouldn't put it on the side, you'd pour the sauce across the top? Robin.
I dip it.
What really stuck
then,
out to me is they're eating dinner, okay? Or they're talking to the Episcopal priest at the place, all right? She's talking about whatever, and Robin is sitting there with a fork, like picking up the lo mein, twirling it around the fork, like biting it, letting the biting it, and then letting the extra fall off.
Yeah, it's hot.
And I'm like,
everything she does is so sexy.
You're doing this during during the conversation, and you're on television. I had to eat tater tots on the news one time. And
I don't fuck with tater tots.
Why did I allow that to happen?
Why were you eating tater tots on the news? I feel like I need to ask now. The fuck?
I worked at a restaurant that had tater tots as like one of their things. And they had like these they had a tater tot eating contest.
Ugh.
Mind you, I did not work at this place long, but they were doing a segment on the news about it. And they, of course, asked me. But then I went there and they had us do a fake eating, like one of the eating contests, right? With like a person who worked there. And then me and another girl who worked at my restaurant. And the guy who worked at the news was like pounding these tater tots, like just going at it. And I was like taking them and like putting them in my pocket.
The one time I ever ate a tater tot was on the day, it was 8th grade, and it was home ec class. What?
The one time you've ever eaten a tater tot?
I don't fuck with tater tots. Yeah, it was home ec class and we were making the teacher was clearly hungover this day because that day the project was microwave cheesy tater tots, meaning it was just melting cheese over tater tots in the microwave. And I had my first period that day. And when you have a period, like you feel like you have diarrhea all day long anyway. And then now we're adding cheesy tater tots in the microwave. So I don't remember the last time I ever ate a tater tot than that day.
I was born and raised eating tater tots because of tater tot hot dish. I mean, and if anyone's a product of the Midwest at all, my family's all from Minnesota, North Dakota. We had tater tot hot dish like at least twice a week. It's like the soup mix stuff, like the can of soup, ground beef, vegetables, and then you put like tater tots in the bottom, and then you put that on top of it, and then you put tater tots on top of it. It's like a I don't know if I would want that now.
Yeah, I'm Ukrainian. I live on pierogies and beets and sour cream and eggs.
Great.
All right. But anyway, Robin sucks. What's any other thoughts on Sister Wives Diet Woes before we finish? And we could talk about
I want to know what is this watch that Robin is wearing? It looks like a Rolex Submariner or something. And
yeah, it probably is. Yeah. She likes to spend her money. She's a QVC grr.
Yeah, but do you know how much a Rolex costs?
Yeah, and Robin does too, and she spends Janelle's money. Yeah, that's just okay. Janelle will pay for it.
Well, it was not the good thing. And then we get to Cody doesn't like antagonistic crowds. We find out because when he's gonna go to the place, he's afraid to go to the Eastern schools because of antagonistic crowds.
He has like 27 words, like buzzwords that he knows that he just kind of recycles throughout all the seasons. So you're gonna hear
I'd
all
say
these things.
two of my big pullaways here is that Mary constantly looks like she's been caught off guard in every interview. It's like she's like she just looks like they shocked her or something right before she started talking.
They're not comfortable on camera.
And the kids later, when this priest comes over to their house and they have a party. Oh, it's for Leon's birthday.
Yes.
Right? These screaming children. If you met a polygamist and they invited you to their kid's birthday party, knowing
Joan,
all the children would be there.
I would love to go to this party with you because the two of us would find each other across the room and just be like, ooh, 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 from Kill Bill.
The issue is I would have known the circumstances. I would have shown up 45 minutes late because this is the only type of party I show up late to. And then I would have left way before this Episcopal priest and random
and you
man
and me are
left.
going out for just like bottomless margaritas somewhere.
Oh, I would have shown up drunk, I'm sure, or something. If I knew I had to go to this, I just wouldn't have gone. I would have. There's no way you could have gotten me to that party.
Now the next episode I have, some of them are fine. Savannah's really nice. Isabel, I like Gwen. The next episode I have on this list is season 5, episode 1, Polygamous Debt Threat. But I'm gonna find something in season 4 for you because there's got to be other things you need to see, and you need to keep your eye on Aurora because that's like going to be a recurring theme. She's Robin's child, who is
isn't that the one that Cody wants to make his new sister?
I don't think he does, but I think she has like a really I don't think there's anything like actually sexual, but I think there's a very unhealthy thing going on there. It's just fucked up. All of it's fucked up. Yeah, it's not sexual, but it's like boundaries need to be established. Anyway, that's just my opinion on that. Yeah.
Again, friends, we're coming here towards the end, aren't we? Please
we're done.
Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. God damn it. Please. I'm begging you. Subscribe. Join us on our Patreon. We got good shit going on the Patreon. Patreon.com/pod&the-city. You can also email us at patcpod@gmail.com if you'd like.
You can also leave us a tip there at PayPal.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. If you want to tip us, you can do it on PayPal at patcpod@gmail.com.
Yep. And click that subscribe
I'm getting tired.
button.
Wow. This wears me out. Oof.
Me and Jody used to do this 3.5 hours like every week.
When you told me that you guys did them that long, I was like, I can't do that. I'm like, there's no way I can do that.
It. No, I loved it, but like the second it was over, it would just be like a holy shit. You know?
I mean, that's how I feel right now. I'm like, wow.
I know.
That was a journey, y'all. And you guys, I'm so happy. I know most of you again are here for Amanda from the start, but it is just so nice to see our same fabulous faces every Monday. And I just love it. So.
All right. I'm going to put up this little pink thing and, check us out and all the stuff. Links are in the show notes. We love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us. We still met the higher threshold of watchers this week. So thank you. Love you guys. You're all adults. Bye. Well,
bye.